To the White House as early as today to talk about raising the debt limit. The House passed a Republican-backed measure last night, but the proposal is expected to die in the Senate. Congressman Kevin McCarthy is part of the Republican House. He is joining us live from Washington, D.C. this morning. Congressman, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We have a little bit of a buzz we're dealing with in the audio, but we're just going to push through because this is an important topic to talk about. Now, Congressman, I want to ask you, you have supported this cut, cap, and balance proposal that passed last night in the House, and I guess my question for you would be, it's expected to die in the Senate. The President has threatened to veto it already. Why spend so much time and energy working on something that you guys know is never going to make it to fruition?
Well, you don't know that it's not going to make it. You know, it was a bipartisan vote that passed it. Democrats joined with us and voted for it. And think about what it is. Here we are in a financial problem where we've spent $14 trillion. The President wants to increase the debt limit by $2.4 trillion. So we say, to do that, you've got to cut current spending because discretionary spending has gone up 84% in the last 3 years. You've got to cap it so it can't grow faster than the economy. And then we want to have a balanced budget so we're never back in this mess again. You know, 16 years ago, we were one vote short of getting a balanced budget. Had we had that, we wouldn't be having this discussion today. Now, the Democrats have not offered a plan. The President has not offered a plan. We have been in negotiations with them for weeks, and they've never come up with anything. So we said, all right, if that's not going to be the case, we don't want the country to default. We'll put our plan out there, and we passed it through the House in a bipartisan vote. The Senate could take it up as well.
Congressman, you said that the Democrats have not come up with a plan. There is this group of six plan with the six senators that it includes spending cuts. The President seems to be somewhat behind it as well. It's a bipartisan thing. Does that not seem like a reasonable compromise to you?
Well, there's no legislation. They can't tell you what's in it. It's just talking points. It's a little late in nature, so I'd like to see what it is. In the past, they've been tax increases. When I looked at it from the talking points, it would only cut $500 billion out of 10 years. Yeah, we have a much bigger problem than that. I mean, I'm looking at a place that you can control government spending, but also grow the economy. Create a system where America compete with the other countries and let's create jobs. So I'm holding back until I read the legislation, but they don't have any legislation yet. And they said it'll be more than 2 weeks before the legislation is written.
Congressman, do you think the Tea Party is hurting the Republican Party because you're getting the so-called purists, people that will not accept any form of tax increase, and some say, hey, look, the Democrats have agreed to some cuts in this case. The Republicans, you know, you've kind of won. Why don't you accept what you have? Do you think the Tea Party purists are making it hard for you guys to get this done?
No, and I think that's a misinterpretation because let's think about it for a moment. Tea Party is focused on government spending, okay? Now, tax increases in the middle of a down economy, this is the worst economy we've had since the Depression, would only hurt it more. Now let's just go back a few short months ago. When the Democrats were in the majority and the Bush tax cuts were about to expire with Pelosi as Speaker, Reid as the leader in the Senate, and Obama as the President, they didn't raise taxes because they said the economy was bad. That was a few short months ago. So let's be honest to what somebody's using for a political game instead of what really the economy needs to happen. The President, again, has not led here. He has not put a plan out. The Congressional Budget Office went through and said the President's plan said, I cannot score a speech, so there's no idea what it is or if there's anything there. That is what's going wrong here in Washington. So Republicans have sat back and said, we're not going to let this country fall. We're going to put a plan out that has common sense, that cuts current spending that's gone too high, that caps it so it doesn't grow out of the problem, and fix the problem once and for all with a balanced budget that sets us on a path to grow the economy.
Congressman, one more question. We have 30 seconds left. Will we get a deal done by this August 2nd deadline, and do you think the nation will go into default?
The nation will not go in default. There is enough money to always pay. Now, what happens is, from this process, I believe we can get a deal done. But the most important thing is you want a deal that fixes the problem. If you get a deal for the deal's sake, the markets will collapse afterwards because you look at what Moody's is saying about our economy. This government is spending too much. We have to show that we're serious about bringing in the reins and doing something about what's moving forward with the debt. So if we do the right deal, that would be the best portion for America to move forward.
Congressman Kevin McCarthy, we're out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.